Is the Florida real estate market crashing? Here's the boring truth. The real estate market in Florida is nowhere near the crash that occurred during the Great Recession of 2008. This is partially due to tighter lending laws coming from the financial crisis. Borrowers today are in considerably better shape, and homeowners have a record amount of equity. These two factors greatly reduce the likelihood of a large number of foreclosures, which would drive prices lower. Foreclosures were the principal cause of a 30% decline in home values into 2008 crash. In 2008, there were 1,806 foreclosures in the Northeast Florida market. In 2022, there were 143. Hi, I'm Lucian Valancourt, real estate broker and founder of Native Son Realty here in Jacksonville, Florida. Today we're going to explore the differences between the current real estate market and the market in 2008, as well as why we're not going to experience a large drop in home values here in Florida. But before we do, if this is your first time here and you want to learn all kinds of real estate related stuff, you need to hit the subscribe button. It's no secret, as a result of low supply and high demand, Florida's real estate market has seen unprecedented price growth in 2021 and 2022. In Jacksonville, the median price of a home has increased 27% when compared to December of 2020. The high demand was brought on by low interest rates and people migrating to Florida from high-tax states like New York and California. These low interest rates allowed more people to qualify for loans and purchase homes. The low supply was a result of the pandemic. Home builders were not building and homeowners were not selling. This created the housing shortage that persists today. So what changed? What brought all the doom and gloomers out to begin shouting that the sky is falling and the market is going to crash?
The sky is falling! Everyone run for cover!
Some are even claiming the market is crashing now and that there is no bottom in sight. Let's look at the reasons these prognosticators are pointing to. For one thing, people are interested in bad news. It gets attention. Sensationalizing bad news gets clicks and views. The more dire it sounds, the more clicks and views it gets. This gentleman is not a real estate professional or a financial advisor. Yet he has been forecasting doom for years and advising people not to buy or to get out now.
Get out now.
His videos get thousands of views. Compare those videos hyping bad news to those by industry professionals reporting factual market data. The number of views of market reports that are not screaming the sky is falling get very few views. Why? It's boring. Okay, let's move on to the boring truth.
You can't handle the truth!
The number one reason cited is the rise in home mortgage interest rates. It's all over the news. It's true that the speed with which rates have increased in recent months is unprecedented. Rates have more than doubled in less than 12 months, rising from near 3% at the beginning of the year to near 7% now. This rise in rates has priced many middle to low income people and first-time homebuyers out of the market. These would-be buyers cannot afford the higher payments brought on by these higher interest rates. In theory, removing these buyers from the market should reduce demand and cause home prices to crash. But are they? Let's look at the data. In the fourth quarter of 2022, you can see that there has been a 5% decline in the median sale price from October to December. However, at the same time, you can see that the number of new listings has dropped below the number of sold listings. The data also shows a 6-month trend of decreasing numbers of sellers putting their homes up for sale. The absorption rate of months of inventory has leveled off and the number of active listings has begun to decline. The absorption rate is a measure of market balance or supply and demand between buyers and sellers. An absorption rate of 6 months represents a balanced market where prices remain stable and keep pace with inflation. Less than 6 months is considered a seller's market where values are expected to rise more rapidly. And more than 6 months is considered a buyer's market where values are expected to trend lower. With an absorption rate as low as 1.12 months in March, the 2022 market was an anomaly, with price gains that could not be sustained. What we are seeing now is a market correction to a more normal market, not a market crash. In fact, with an absorption rate of less than 4 months and heading lower, Jacksonville is still in a seller's market. Contrast these figures with the absorption rate of 16 months in 2008, and you can see that the market heading into 2023 is vastly different than it was in 2008. So why aren't homeowners putting their homes on the market? Florida homeowners are much wealthier as a result of the rise in property values. What's keeping them from selling and using that equity to go out and buy another home? It's because of higher interest rates. You see, even though the value of their current home has appreciated in value, so has the home they would like to buy. The equity from their current home would just be used to offset the increased price of their new home. This means that they would be transferring their current 3% mortgage to their new home at 7%. Assuming a median price of $339,000 and 20% down, the monthly payment would increase about $630. The homeowner may not be able to qualify for the new loan with the higher payment. Or they just may not want to pay the higher rate and just stay put until rates come back down.
Not gonna do it.
With fewer homes for sale and fewer buyers to purchase them, the total number of sales has indeed dropped. However, the supply and demand ratio remains in the seller's favor. The doom and gloomers like to point to the reduction in the number of sales as evidence of a coming crash, but fail to take the supply and demand issue into account. Bottom line is that the decrease in supply has offset the decrease in demand. The law of supply and demand will stabilize home values and keep us from repeating a crash like 2008. Another reason to be optimistic about home values is that, according to the Census Bureau, Florida saw a 1.9% population increase from 2021 to 2022, surpassing population growth in any other state for the first time since 1957. That's over 422,000 people that need a place to live, which will maintain the high demand for housing in Florida. In addition, Florida's seasonally adjusted unemployment rate was 2.6% in November 2022, nearly a full percent lower than the national rate of 3.5%. These strong employment numbers indicate that Florida's economy remains strong, which further reduces the likelihood of a massive foreclosure seen in 2008. So what should you do? Well, if you're looking to buy, take your time, do your due diligence, negotiate, and shop around for a mortgage. With homes staying on the market a little longer, there's no urgency to make the biggest financial decision of your life under duress. And it's okay to walk away rather than stretch beyond what you can realistically afford. However, if you find a house you love and can comfortably afford it, and you're looking for a place to live for more than the next year or two, it's not necessarily a bad time to buy. You can always refinance later when the rates come back down. What about current homeowners? If you need to sell, be prepared for a higher payment on your next home due to the higher interest rates. However, you too can refinance when rates come back down. If you have the option of sitting tight for a while, then that's what I would do. If you have any questions or would like to discuss your options, do give me a call. Whether you are interested in buying or selling, I will ensure that you are well informed and equipped to make the best decision for you and your family. If you haven't already done it, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you won't miss any future updates. Till then, this is Lucian Valancourt with Native Sun Realty, helping you find your place in the sun.